Hello, everybody. Dave Neal here, stand-up comic, host of Bachelor Nation News. And we've got Clayton Echard defending Zach to an extent, not necessarily his actions, but the idea that he's trying the best with the information he has. We're going to share everything Clayton just said, and pretty interesting that Clayton is directly commenting straight to his Instagram regarding sort of the backlash Zach's receiving. I think it's great. I think it's great for him to share his opinion on it. Follow me on Instagram at DNeals for behind-the-scenes content and stand-up comedy clips, shows, when I'll be performing. You can get all that information at DNeals on Instagram, and also the behind the scenes membership community is patreon.com/Dave Neal. We did a nice long bonus episode today. We got one every day, and then I'll have the bonus full stand-up comedy clips there. Bachelor Rush Hour is the afternoon podcast, and let me tell you something. We already recorded today's Bachelor Rush Hour. It's available anywhere you listen to a podcast, Bachelor Rush Hour. Just search that or go to linktree.com/Dave Neal, and you can just click on it right here and just listen to it right there, right in front. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it's Dave Neal, stand-up comic, host of Bachelor Nation News. Last night was... All right, so it's a full new, brand new 25 minutes for you guys. Completely new content, and we discussed the voicemails you all left, play a lot of new original voicemails, and my comments on what went down last night. Gabby's fighting back sort of against the haters on our Instagram, rightfully so, and so much more. All right, well, let's get into what Clayton had to say. It's important to hear from him as he's been to hell and back on his season, where he tried his best and it blew up in his face, and may the same thing happen to Zach. We'll see.
Thoughts on last night's episode. I watched the back half of it, and a lot of things I see online I just felt like addressing. I think it's important to just put this out there for you all to understand maybe the other side of the coin that's not often spoken about. With last night, I know Zach made some actions, said some things. To the first point about revealing what had occurred with one woman to the other woman, there's this talk about he should have done it in privacy. There is no privacy, all right? The only privacy is fantasy suites. Before that, after that, there's zero privacy. You don't get off camera time. So that can't happen. Then there's the discussion of, well, maybe you should wait until the show ends. Okay, that's fine. That is a very real possibility. The danger in that a lead can think of is that if you withhold that information, you go through the rest of the process, everyone's super happy, you get engaged or whatever, it's a happy ending. And then all of a sudden you say, hey, I got to tell you something off camera. They can either say, hey, thank you so much for letting me know this. I'm really appreciative that you didn't say this on national television. Or they could say the reverse aspect, which is, why didn't you tell me this sooner? Had you have told me this, I would have made different decisions and I wouldn't ultimately be here. This, for something as big as an engagement, I wish you would have told me this because it would have affected my decision-making ability. That is a very real concern that leads think about. That's why I think we both feel, I can't speak for Zach, but that's why often we feel we need to tell it right now. I need to tell this person, then they can make their decision, as opposed to withholding it, which to me is still a lie if you withhold the truth, and then wait a couple weeks and then say, oh, hey, here's really what happened. Okay, that can really put someone in emotional turmoil when they realize, wait, you didn't tell me the full story until now. I would have liked to have known beforehand. The second point is that many people say that the lead should do a better job of not expressing their feelings to multiple people. Just stick with one. Totally get that, okay? I was the biggest believer in I am not going to fall in love with multiple people. I kept saying that. Everyone was asking me on the show, are you going to fall in love with multiple people? I said, absolutely not. That's going to be a train wreck if I do it. And then what happened is the women started to open up to me, and I wasn't reciprocating. And then I started getting questioned. Well, I've expressed myself, and yet I don't know how you're feeling, and it's making me put up walls. And rightfully so, right? People start to second guess. If I've expressed this a week or two ago, and now you're still not expressing how you feel, well, maybe I should close myself off because I don't want to get hurt. I even had people come and tell me like, hey, I'm considering leaving. So this was the conundrum of, if I keep withholding my emotions, I may end up losing somebody that I care about. And so that's a really tough spot to be in. So oftentimes as a lead, you think, okay, well, either I continue to withhold to try to protect everybody, but I may lose someone or two people or three people. I found out after the show that almost 7 women left, almost 7, because they didn't know where I was standing. Others almost left for other reasons, but some of them were wondering where I was at. And the third part that I want to mention is that people say, well, okay, you should just fall for one person and not go for multiple people. Again, probably in hindsight, probably the best thing you can do. But unless you're someone that just knows right off the bat, which when you have 30 incredible women who are not slouches by any means, these are some of the women that across the country that are beautiful, they're inquisitive, they're super intelligent, funny, charming. They all have their different personalities. And so for you to be able to pick out one right off the bat, again, more power to you if you can do it. But most of us that get in a situation like something about this person, like something about this person. Everyone's a little bit different. So you're like, what am I searching for? And what do I truly want in my life? It's easier said than done. Some people have done it. Kudos to them. But again, as the lead, it's just not that simple. And I think at the end of the day, as you all watch this, understand this, that we all know that the show is going to end up being watched back. And so we're trying to do what's best for everybody, but it's not really a win-win. When you're dating multiple people, it's a foreign environment for all of us. We've never been in it before, so we have no experience to pull from. So how do you do it correctly? Everyone's trying it a little bit different ways. Only a few have found success, but with so many variables and different people and personalities, you just never know how to approach it, and all you can do is your best. So to wrap, did Zach do things perfectly? No. None of us ever do it, right? Like hardly any. There's time after time again, many of us have failed in that process, but just give him some grace is all I ask. He's trying his best. Okay. Did he do things the right way? No, I mean, not at all points. It's easier to look at it and go, why did you do that? But again, we don't know what's fully happening at all times. And you know what? It's just too hard to say this is what you should do. It's easy when you say it sitting, watching it from a TV. It's another thing when emotions are involved and you say, well, you shouldn't do these things. But when emotions are attached, we act irrational. That is just how it is. And we all can relate to that. It's so easy to be rational when there's no emotional tie. Second you get an emotional tie, things are not cut and dry. And that's what we see.
And that's what we see. All right. So Clayton Echard couldn't have said it better myself. He says, give this man some grace. It's easier said than done. It's almost like when you watch a American Ninja Warrior. You ever see that the competition where they got to run on the different things and scale the wall? You're always like, oh, he slipped there. This is what I would do. If I was in the same situation. No. If you were in the same situation, you'd fall into the water like most people would. It's laughable when we actually watch this and think we could do better. It's you got these leads, they're chosen because they have the personality type that's going to take the bait. They're chosen because they're the personality type that, all right, I'm going to go all in on all these things and I'm going to find my person, and they believe the Kool-Aid, and then what do they get out of it? What is there to show for it? Well, a lot of people are going to be pissed off. Now, best case scenario, which we kind of got it from Clayton season, even though it didn't work out, which we got from Matt James season. Best case scenario is the person you're meant to be with has the grace that you need, and everyone else that you burn bridges with, that's just part of the quote-unquote process. I'd love to know what you guys think. Go to Bachelor Rush Hour to check out the podcast. It is live. Link in the comment section. You can go listen right now. We'll be back later with more content.